Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Robert Donaldson, and welcome back to another edition of Rob's Best Bets. And man, oh man, what a Thursday. North Carolina A&T. They're 5-21 now on the season. Coming into yesterday, they were 4-21, and like I said in the video, let's take a speculative stab at the money line price at plus 700, 7-1 on our money, and they won. It was a dramatic game. There was a lot of back and forth, especially in the last 3 minutes, and they got it done for us. What a hit, and what a day just aside from that as well. We hit our biggest play of the day in UC Davis, and that was in dramatic fashion. We brought in 11.39 units. Definitely a day that we need to see fall through the hoop, and definitely a day that I think could be serving as a great building block, especially when yesterday we also went off against the spread and just overall in terms of profit brought in. But man, you know, this Friday slate, whatever. Thursday made our week. Hopefully we can continue to build on it. But with all that being said, y'all, before we hop into Friday's picks, I do want to take a second to shout out today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. And if you aren't already following me over on Twitter/X at RobDFB, make sure you're doing so, because I'm going to have some Underdog pick'em entries posted over there for Saturday's slate. We're probably looking at 1 or 2, and make sure if you do want to participate that you're using promo code RobDFB at signup, and that'll get you guys a pretty sweet deposit match bonus there as well. But with all that being said, y'all, I'm ready to hop into these picks. All right, for our first bet here on Friday, we are heading out to the MAC with the good old MAC Fridays. These are always really entertaining. I'm glad that they make it consistent for our Friday slates. And when you're looking at this in-state battle between Ohio and Kent State, it's been a very interesting year for both programs, because Kent State has been near the top of kind of the league for the better part of 2 decades now, and Ohio right alongside them. But it has been a little bit of a down year for both. Ohio more so because of injuries, and it just kind of doesn't feel like they have a more complete team this season. But in this matchup, there's still a rivalry aspect, and Ohio on the back half of this conference slate has been playing a lot better ball. And for that reason, I say we go ahead and take the 5.5 points here for 2 units for our first bet here on Friday. For pick number 2, we are heading out to the Ivy League, where we have Cornell taking on Harvard, and very similar year for Harvard, kind of to Ohio. Obviously a lot worse in terms of the win-loss record, but when you're kind of looking at the scope of the conference, Harvard has been relevant for quite some time in this league, despite not having a lot of NCAA tournament bursts, because it is a tough league to win year in and year out, especially with how their conference tournament is sort of built up. But when you're looking at this year in particular, they've certainly fallen off a cliff. But when you're looking at this game, just kind of in a vacuum on its own, you know, they just played Cornell at Cornell a few days ago, and they lost by 15 points. And now you're catching a line that's a lot shorter than 15, and by a lot shorter, I mean 6.5. It just kind of feels indicative that Harvard is going to have an extra gear in this game and at least make it competitive, and potentially just needing to kind of hold on the backside. So let's go ahead and take the 6.5 points here with the Harvard Crimson for 2 units for our second bet here on Friday. For pick number 3, we are heading out to the MAAC, where we have Marist taking on Siena. And obviously when you see this Marist logo pop up here, and if you've been watching my channel and, you know, following my bets for this season, you know that we've been betting against Marist quite a bit. And as of late, I think the market has definitely corrected, and they are starting to not cover. They're also starting to lose games. And coming into conference play, this was a team that we did feel like had a glossier record than what was actually warranted. And when you're looking at this game, the last time these two teams played each other at Marist, it was a very competitive back and forth game, and it really came down to the wire. And when you're looking at this game, and just, again, it's sort of its vacuum, it does feel like a get-back game for Siena. So let's go ahead and take the Siena Saints for 3 units for our third bet here on Friday. All right, for our final pick here on Friday, we are heading back to the Ivy League, where we have Princeton taking on Brown. And Brown has been one of my favorite teams over the last 3 years because they have done a phenomenal job of retaining most of their core. And, you know, they've had a couple bigs here and there kind of leave out of the program. They've also had some graduations over the past few years, but for the most part, they've had the same exact, you know, starting 3 or 4 guys on the floor at all times. And it does feel like a year where Brown is once again going to have a chance to win the Ivy League in the conference tournament. Last year, they came so damn close against Yale. We had a future on them in that conference tournament, as well as a money line in the championship game. And in this particular matchup against Princeton, I don't think Princeton is playing the kind of ball that I expected them to play. In fact, I would even say it's been very, very shaky from start to finish in conference play so far. And Brown, as of late, you know, they have dropped some games, but they have been competitive. They are playing some good basketball, in my opinion, and they're getting 4.5 points here at home in probably the best travel location in this conference. I say we go ahead and take those 4.5 points here for 3 units for our final bet here on Friday. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video, and if you do want to show some love, make sure you drop a like on this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you comment down below. And as always, y'all, I will see you in a future video. Take it easy.